and welcome back to the next part of my walkthrough guide. We are nearing the end, I can tell. We're moving on to the storm-tossed seas. Urianger is patiently awaiting word that you are ready to depart. Thine affairs are in order, then I shall unfold to thee my proposal. Our destination is on the ocean floor, yet our goal is not simply to arrive there. Nay, we must needs have the means to breathe and fight freely. Thus would I petition the aid of one of the Fae, a being with whom I have yet to meet face to face. Rather than waste words or explanation, I bid thee follow me on to the hamlet of Solon, which lieth to the south and west. All will become abundantly clear, I promise thee. Oh, another promise, huh? You'll forgive me if I'm somewhat skeptical. You know what? No, I think it might just be easier just to run out of the Crystarium. So it looks like we'll finally be heading off to the final new area. We haven't heard any news on exactly what this new area is going to be like. But apparently it's the Tempest. Don't know anything else about it but its name. And that apparently it's at the bottom of the ocean. So that's going to be interesting to travel to. We can just ride there the rest of the way. So if memory serves me correctly, this is actually supposed to be where a little fishing village is supposed to be. But you know, just thinking about everything we found out in the last couple videos, I do not want to be either the Exarch or MXelk by the time that we get down there. Because the warrior here is going to be pretty pissed with both of them. I mean, I understand why they did what they did. They feel like it was the only options. I mean, MXelk believes it's the only way to bring back the world as it once was. Apparently, he wants to return it to this sort of perfect paradise. Not really sure where the point is in that, because there's hardly any Ascians left. And the Exarch, or Grahatia, did it because he was just trying to save a friend. He wanted to save the future, and oh my god, you know, these two are like almost complete opposites. They're fighting for opposite things. Grahatia was fighting for a future, but MXelk was so focused on the past. That's really poetic if you think about it. But Urianger should be around here. There he is. There to the west, canst thou discerneth the hump of the isle rising above the water? That foliage-covered mass hideth the key to our safe descent. Swim close and plunge thee beneath the surface. Thou shalt soon divine the reason for my insistence. Though it be much to my shame, I can but flail and flounder where thou mayest glide as a fish. I shall board a boat to the island, and spare one and all the spectacle of mine inept strokes. I would have paid money to see that. And what, you can't offer us a boat ride either? I mean, we shouldn't be wasting our energy right now, should we? We're kind of in a delicate situation right now. Whatever. But yeah, I remember the first time I saw this, back when we were able to fly over all of Lakeland, and I remember pointing out to this cute island and how strange it looks. So, what is so special about this island? And you know what? I don't think I ever really dove underwater like this. This is so cool. It's so big down here, too. So I think I see the island right up above us. This looks strange. Suspect rock formation. That doesn't look like a rock. Two curved slabs of rock seem squeezed together here, giving the impression of a giant stone eyelid. Oh my god. It does. What is it? A giant whale? Well, what's the second thing down here? Though it appears solid enough, the rock yields slightly under your touch. Was the surface gently shifting, or was it just your imagination? It's breathing? It's breathing! What is this thing? Okay, it's supposed to be of the Fae folk, but this is by far the largest Fae folk I've ever seen. I don't have a clue what it's supposed to be. And how do we get up here? I don't know how to get up here. I really don't. Really, Urianger, would it have killed you to take just 5 seconds? Just 5 seconds to explain what's going on. Okay, I think I'm getting up here. There we go. Alvina. Ah, there you are. Once you've completed your underwater investigations, the path here leads to the top of the island. Okay. I found your Stola. If you solved Urianger's little mystery, then you can find him further up the slope. 'Twas all rather obvious to my eyes, though I concede I have an unfair advantage. Yeah, she can see ether, so she can see that this thing is alive. Even seeing up close, I'm still not sure what's so special about this island. Well, you should take a look underwater. The locals call this the Isle of Ken, which I presume must refer to knowledge. Either that or someone was being awfully zealous about marking his territory. Oh, that's funny. Well, what hast thou discerned? It reminds me of a certain primal. Oh, okay. It's just the big one. That was like the Namazu god, I seem to recall, but certain primal. Oh, wait. Are they talking about Bismarck? Oh, Bismarck's the only thing I can think of. Is it Bismarck? Most perspective. According to lore of the Pixies, we are, even now, perched upon the back of an ancient Fae entity. Its name is Bismarck. Aye, the selfsame title by which we know the great feathered whale revered by the Vanu Vanu of the source. Oh, I knew it! I would enlist its aid to bear us onto the deep, and hence banish the water with an airy sphere, alike in form to the domes which do shelter the hamlets neath the ruby sea. Within its compass we may move unencumbered, and defend ourselves when the hour of battle cometh, as it most surely shall. Now I must needs ask for silence while I make my supplication. In other words, be quiet while I talk to this thing.
Wir Sach, Bilan Bismail. Fallen si lor wislan, ada si alinal.
Van urs atslir, olfod thim, iri guath thi.
Oh dear. I don't need to speak Fae to know that didn't go well.
We need Fair Ool.
Oh, my snake yak! You've learned to call me at last! And where do you go? On a trip? A journey? I knew you wouldn't give up without a fight. Oh, my precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can. Gers Bismail win picked. Van dromi drom Jacob. Van Read Rithje.
Ahai Una, Sahawin Wilsk. Isne Sol Dierlo.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. It's only got manners.
It will be done, Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
An agreement is reached and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight. May the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Lo fallo Luis. Vanin Narsitar. Dir Sitagnai.
And just like that, it's all gone back to the way it was.
What was you expecting? 100 years of honey and rainbows? Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes was miracle enough for me.
Ah, the magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
What the? Do you see that?
What a monster! Where did it even come from? Whoa there! It's not stopping! Run! Run!
Vanana Anna Tilden Sidok Iri Almsi Funne Aktva Thonyasni Tagnai.
Wow.
The breath of Bismarck. See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The Tempest's floor is laid bare. In defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom. The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
Well, this is interesting. I dare say Rianji endured much playful attentions from the pixies to learn the lore of Bismarck. He is nothing if not a dedicated scholar. This is amazing. I can't even see the surface. Nope, neither can I. With all that water out of the way, we'll be able to venture quite some distance. MXL must be hiding around here somewhere. Bismarck must be powerful indeed to create a dome of this size. I can only pray to whatever gods are listening that it continues to hold. Well, me and Alize should be okay. It may be Thancred, but the rest of you are probably screwed. I remember being impressed by the domes of Taramazu, but this makes them look like bubbles in a stream. Full glad am I that Bismarck was true to his word. We are arrived in the Tempest, safe and dry. 'Tis here that we shall find the lair of MXL, and I believe the imprisoned Exarch as well. For an Assi alone, it is of course a trifling matter to flee onto the rift, yet I suspect such travel is nigh impossible with a mortal in one's custody. Nay, he would not soon risk his prize when the Exarch's very body serveth the key to the Crystal Tower and its powers of temporal transportation. Thus am I all but certain that his underwater realm harboreth our friend and enemy both. We have but to find them. So that's the end of that quest. So the next one, in the event that you leave the area, speak with the yards. Okay, so we could just go to the shipyards to find out more about what's going on. Come, let us begin our search. Okay. Oh, so we're talking to Thancred now. Waiting in the depths. Thancred casts his gaze across the waterless expanse before you. Now, as for where we should be looking, I rather doubt MXL will be sitting around out in the open. I propose we follow the slope down towards the deeper trenches and keep an eye out for rock formations large enough to house a stronghold. Let's be off then, but watch your footing. The ground is still wet and like to be slippery. I love the music down here. I mean, personally, it does sound a little bit like elevator music, but it's somewhat calming compared to a lot of other themes we've heard. So, where exactly are we? Discover some new locations. So, unlike the others where we at least had an idea of what we were looking for, here I don't think we have the slightest clue. So... Oh, Ondo Youth? Oh, this is like the Sahagin. It's the Ondo. Hey, are you okay? Yeah, that's probably a shock for him, suddenly finding himself on dry land. Ooh. Maybe it's not a smart idea to follow him. The Ondo Cups. So a new location. Oh, there's even an aetherite crystal. That's a rather fancy one. But I like that one. So, looks like we'll be getting to talk to some of the Ondo here for some advice. That would be cool. The finless ones, they followed me. Why have you come? Was it you who took away our water? Ah, so this is where the Ondo make their home. I had wondered. Pray, forgive us for any inconvenience we have caused. We were not aware your people lived here in the Tempest. We need this great dome of air that we might conduct a most urgent search, and thus beg you for your understanding. Chieftain, what are we to do? Are you the emissaries of the Ancient Ones? I'm sorry? The mysteries have stirred. We have seen the illuminated land shining through the gloom of the abyss. If you are the emissaries, the chosen, I bid you welcome. If you are not, I bid you leave. I am not sure I understand. Would you be willing to elaborate? It would seem not. I suggest we withdraw for the moment. So what's the plan? Given your condition, I'm reluctant to suggest lingering here. That said, our presently meandering search would proceed far more swiftly if we could call upon the Ondo's local knowledge. Yes, I'd like to know more about this illuminated land the chieftain spoke of. Could it be MX-Selk's stronghold, do you suppose? Perhaps he lit the lanterns upon his return? We cannot dismiss the possibility that these Ondo refuse to speak with us. Claire, do you remember my first scheme for entering Yulmore? How I planned to integrate myself by offering lucrative trading opportunities with the Ondo? The individual I dealt with was resilient in manner and curious in custom, but we were able to reach an agreement nonetheless. I believe that with the right approach, we can build a similar relationship here. What kind of approach do you have in mind? That chieftain fellow didn't leave us many options. If we were to tread the swiftest course, then we must needs locate its beginning. To explain our all-too-dramatic arrival hath thrown the settlement into confusion. Were we to solve such problems as we have caused, and assure our hosts thereby that our purpose here is not immaterial to them, they may yet prove amenable to reason. I smell chores, but very well, if it can be done quickly. What do you think? I have nothing better to offer, but I do worry what will happen if the Ondo's tales end up leading us to a dead end. I cannot say for certain, but I sense this tribe has a deeper connection to the Scions than first meets the eye. It warrants further investigation, thus I cast my vote in favor of aiding the settlement for the time being. We'll make allies of the Ondo. Then it's settled. Y'shtola, pray proceed with your investigations. The rest of us will see about fostering some goodwill. Claire, you won't believe who I've just bumped into. This is Palos Oren, the very fellow I did business with prior to our ill-fated stay in Yulmore. Really? I waited and you did not come. Then the mist still came, but his visits did not continue. I am truly sorry, Palos Oren. Things did not proceed as planned. Is there aught we can do for you by way of an apology? Perhaps. Where the dry returns, a cavern to the north, is home to giant crabs. We do not fear the crab, for we are the swifter swimmers. But now there is no water. We run, and they scuttle close behind, snipping and snapping with their claws. There are too many of them. Too many. I believe I can be of assistance there. And what of you, Claire? If you've not found a task, you are most welcome to join me. Indeed, I would appreciate the company. Where the dry returns has a rather ominous ring to it. Okay. So, let's just ride on out of here. How do I get out of here? I have no idea where I am. This place looks huge. I apologize if you're silently screaming at the screen. You're supposed to go that way. I have no sense of direction. I think I've made this clear several times before. I get lost so easily. I blame it on my short attention span. Yes, that's right. I have the attention span of a goldfish. But it looks like we've got some chores to do. But the important thing is, I found my way out. So I have a feeling that these chores are just kind of going to be taking us a little bit everywhere. At least until we earn their trust, and then we can go to perhaps the second half of the Tempest. Okay. 2 down, only 1 to go. Alright, that's all 3. I think we'll just teleport straight back this time. You could crack their shells. You must be stronger than you look. Well, that's rather rude. I see you reached your quota first again. I shall never be your equal in such tasks. Still, I would say that we have reduced the local crab population to a far less threatening number. My thanks to both of you. You must have a reward. Nay, Parsoen, this was to be a part of my apology to you, remember? Besides which, the lack of water is our doing, for which we must also make amends. Might I convince you to tell us something about your village instead? I would very much like to learn more of you and your people. Very well. Before the flood came, it is said that our ancestral home was found in the seas to the south. It was utterly destroyed by the light. Only those who were out hunting survived. They swam aimless and lost until they spied buildings here on the ocean floor. Strange buildings they were, and long had they stood under the water, yet somehow they had been spared the scars of time and current. These structures provided shelter for my people, protection from the Tempest's turbulent waters and the predators which hunted within them. Their very existence seemed a miracle. The first settlers pondered their good fortune. It was clear that the race who had built such wonders had guided their course, and from this did they discern the truth. That the ancients have chosen us to serve as caretakers of their eternal sanctuary until such time as they returned. Thus, if it is judged that your coming and this great vanishing of water was by the ancients' design, you will find warm welcome here. A truly astonishing history, yet I cannot help but wonder, how will the significance or otherwise of our arrival be decided? The ancients have blessed us with protection and prosperity. If your presence serves to bring us the same, there'll be no doubt in the matter. Then it would seem our earlier decision was the correct one. We thank you for the lesson, Pasia Oen, and we will continue to do all we can to assist your people. Should you desire our help with any other trouble, pray do not hesitate to ask. We should return to the task at hand. Only do try not to overexert yourself, my friend. The risk far outweighs the gain. Interesting. Ah, Yastola. City of the Ancients. Yastola appears deep in thought. Ah, Claire, have you learned aught of note? Yeah, we just heard an interesting story. Fascinating, and precisely the sort of information I was hoping to hear. In fact, if you have a moment, I'd like to borrow your eyes to confirm a theory I've been working on. Come. Okay, so what would she like us to do? So if we're going by the time frame of Stormblood, then at this point we have reached the land of Alamigo, which means we're almost at the end. Yay! No! As you can see, I have mixed feelings about that. Now, there are 2 tasks I would have you perform. The first requires you to inspect the buildings which surround the Ondo settlement, and note their most distinctive characteristics. For the second, I wish you to use this knife to take scraping from one of the remnant walls. Pray, be as thorough as you can. I shall be waiting here for the results of your investigations. Okay. Survey point. Oh, okay. So we get to spy on the area. Oh, look at that! That is interesting. Look at that! Tall, slender towers feature many elaborate windows, the likes of which you have seen nowhere else before. Those look like stained glass windows. But I guess years spent underneath the water have, I don't know, merged it with the coral and the rock? And yet, I mean, it still looks intact. Should have faded by now, but no, it hasn't. Short, sturdy blade made of hammered mithril. You set the point of the knife against the wall, but even after applying considerable pressure, you cannot remove so much as a flake of stone. Okay, that's strange, too. So that's not ordinary rock, then. And what have you discovered? Yes, I would agree that the windows are most distinctive. 'Twould seem the structures appear the same to both your sight and mine. And you say you could not so much as scratch the wall, even with all your might behind the blade? Claire, everywhere I turn in this place, my gaze is drawn by peculiar materials for which I do not have a name. The building I have had you investigate are prime examples. They may appear to be constructed of ordinary stone, but I assure you it is nothing of the sort. If pressed, I would describe the substance as a composition of several mineral properties, blended to create a material of unparalleled durability. Even the Ronkan Empire, once the greatest power in Norvrund, produced nothing which compares to this level of perfection. But if not the Ronka, then who? Who are these ancients the Ondos claim as the architectures of their sanctuary? I suspect our answer lies with the reason M itself withdrew here to the Tempest. He may simply have wished to retreat somewhere mere mortals would struggle to reach, but there are many such remote locations. Why here specifically? M itself is devoted to his role, and thus we might assume his choice of stronghold somehow serves the Ascian agenda. Or mayhap, 'tis a place more dear to him than any other. You mean... Are you saying this was built by ancient Ascians? That is my theory, that these structures are remnants of a time before history, of a star that was yet whole and unbroken. Such traces in the source would have been obliterated by the succession of umbral calamities, but here in the first they may have remained untouched for millennia. A copy of the mural in the Quitana Ravel. Ami presented it to me during my visit to Vannau after our victory in Kalusha. Here in the first scene, by Emexel's own words, it depicts a city of eons past in the disaster which befell it. The design is much simplified, of course, but do you see the similarities between its towers and those you've just inspected? We are close to the truth, I feel. Let us search the surrounds for another tower, one which matches the picture near enough to remove all doubt. From what I have seen, naught more than sand and more sand lies to the east, and the south held no such structures. I suggest we try our luck further to the northwest. Okay, so we can now look at the picture whenever we want as we try to find a location that matches it. Oh no, I don't like these quests. These are tough to do. Well, I might as well get started. So it has to be somewhere around this area. So the east is not going to do us any good. Travel down here. And yeah, I have no idea where to even start. Okay, so the south has no structures, so we might want to try the north and the west. Okay, so that actually took quite a long time, and I've had to ask a few people for help. Not that they were very helpful, but here we are. So the location for this, if you're wondering, is 2111. Oh boy, that took a while, and I'm not happy about it, but we got there in the end. That's what matters, I suppose. Aye, this is the mural right large. Though I cannot guess at its purpose, it must have been an imposing sight. How much of the tower's height lies hidden beneath the ground, I wonder? Centuries of our history have settled upon such ruins, countless layers of dust and sediment. An entire civilization, its existence forgotten by all except a handful of Scions. And yet it did exist. They lived here, in this city. But let us focus on what we learned thus far. The Ondo chieftain spoke of mystery stirring, of a land illuminated. Judging by his words, he believes this phenomenon related to the ancients' return. Thus we can surmise that what the Ondo saw shining in the abyss was, in all likelihood, yet another remnant of this age-old civilization. And who else would light the lanterns, as Reen put it, than FFXIV himself? 'Tis almost certain he is there. But if we are to find the stronghold in a timely manner, it seems gaining the Ondo's trust remains our swiftest path forward. I only hope our deeds are enough to win them over. Okay, the light of inspiration is the next one there. Your Stola seems eager to share your discoveries with the others. Thank you for assisting me with my investigations. I shall seek out our companions and share what we have learned. Much as I would like to tell you to sit down and leave the rest to us, your condition demands that we make all reasonable haste. If you are not too weary, it may be useful to speak with Pius Ulin again, and ask if there is aught else he is willing to diverge. Sitting around and waiting seems boring anyway. Let's head back to the cups and see what other tasks they have for us. Ah, Alphinaud's friend. Have you and your companions done much to repair the damage caused when the waters parted? Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, but anything else you can do? Have you been to the walls of the Forgotten? I think I've just come from them. The remnants to the northwest, yes. You visited them unbidden. Could it be that your footsteps were guided by the ancients? I believe it may be so. Listen then, and I will tell you of our plans to bring light to the walls, that we might answer the shining call of the illuminated land. We have requested a finless craftsman to shape for us a sacred lamp. He is odd for a land dweller, choosing as he does to live in the ocean, but his skill is beyond question. It is concerning, however, that we have heard nothing of his progress. If you were to visit the artisan and return with our long-awaited light, then any doubt to your purpose would be laid to rest. His name is Geralt. You will find his workshop in the metal structure to the south. Oh, it's him! Well, that's convenient. After all, we only first heard of him right before we left the Crystarium. Only to find him here at the bottom of the ocean. What are the odds of that? I swear, if this guy is going to be like anything like Geralt back in the first, I am going to lose it. Maybe I'm looking a little too into it. Maybe that's what the creators want us to think. And it's actually going to turn out to be somebody who looks completely different, but just happens to share a very similar name. I mean, what are the odds that two well-known blacksmiths from these two worlds share not only very similar names, but that they look identical? What are the odds if that happens? Well, I think I see another building. Wait, that building looks completely different. Oh, okay. This looks like something that was built from the Crystarium. How the hell was he able to build this down here? Yep, this is definitely the Crystarium's work. Oh no. No, it can't be. Oh, that's just great, that is. Me mind's playing tricks on me now. Look, Geralt, someone's come to visit you at the bottom of the bleeding ocean. Or might be as you're a ghost, eh? Go on, foul shade, feast yourself on me, rotten soul. I've got no use for it. A craftsman what can't craft is more pointless than a sea slug with a doning hammer. And that's an insult to bloody sea slugs. Okay, appears to be suffering. Okay, yeah. Let's just psych him up. Hey, you wouldn't be trying to raise me spirits now, would ye, spirits? Not what you expect from a servant of the netherworld. Oh, for crying out loud. Do I look like I'm dead yet? Oh no. No! It can't be. Has it really come to this? You took the words out of my mouth, Claire. What's that supposed to mean? Not impressed with what you see, lass? Aye, well, I may have had to let myself go a bit. This was meant to be me underwater sanctuary, a place where I could concentrate on me work, far from the distractions of the outside world. And yet, here you stand. Now, what's so damn important that you dive all the way down to the bottom of the bleeding Tempest to bother me? If his hair was short, he'd be identical. I don't believe it. Ah, the Ondo's lamp. God's curse the empty head! I've not so much as made a start! I'm worse less than a sea slug. Nay, the slime left by a sea slug. Me deliveries days long past. Me workbench is untouched, and I call myself a bleeding artisan. You've heard their beliefs, have ye? Bringing light to the ruins be an act of deep religious and cultural significance. And it was my privilege as a craftsman to be tasked with providing a ritual instruments worthy of the occasion. But I just can't bloody well. My mind's a bleeding blank. It's like I pissed away me last drop of inspiration. Tell me you got something to show me. Something that'll give me muse a right good kick up the arse. Okay. Like what? The Ondo want to honor the coming of these ancients, so their answering lights got to blaze with a light kind of brightness. Like the spark of life caught in a crystal. But just being sparkly's not enough. It's gotta dance with joy and sorrow and a sense of hardship endured. You know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean. General seeks a particular kind of inspiration, the kind that crystallizes only in the culmination of long and tragic tale. Complete any of the role quest lines available at the Wandering Stairs in the Crystarium, then return to General once more. No! Oh, no, we can't go on without doing that, can we? Oh, that sucks. Well, that's gonna be it for now. I will be back as soon as I finish one of the role quests, so I apologize for that.